Hey everyone, it's Dinah, and we are back for more of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time we're on to episode number 12 of season 5. Last time we had the kind of packed and kind of very, very tense and dramatic kind of open to a new arc in this fifth season. We finally fully closed off the future stuff with the Kree and everything and with Kasaya, so that was done and dusted very beautifully, might I add, very beautifully, and we have now been introduced to a new arc, and I think a new arc that, as with arc intros in the show usually go, provided us with a lot more questions than answers. So came back, the team made it back. They were transported through space, but back in time, and so they made it back into the present day, but into the lighthouse. I think it was actually. I think was there a time jump? I think in terms of how long they'd. I think there was a time jump with how long they'd be gone because I think in their absence, Piper had still tried to keep the shield thing going, with following up missions and leads and all that kind of stuff, and still tried to keep Shield's name, fighting and everything in their absence. I think they'd been gone for a bit of a while, but I think Piper had been doing that, and then even working with General Hale in the meantime too, because then General Hale caught on, and then she made Piper a deal, and then Piper told her all about what Shield had been up to over the past kind of few months and everything with the LMDs and Radcliffe and the framework and all that jazz and everything. So she made a deal, and then offered to hand Shield over in exchange for like safety, we would promise safety and guaranteed safety and all that kind of stuff. And then General Hale's daughter Ruby, we met Ruby, who Bubbles in the Powerpuff thingy that was meant to happen and everything. So Bubbles and Blossom first had their thing going here. They haven't met yet. They haven't met. But Ruby is a big Bubbles fan. Well, not Bubbles, Blossom. I don't know how I fucked that up. Blossom fan. She's a big Quake fan. She's a big Daisy Johnson fan. I think her little prison bedroom thing has a Quake is my hero poster, which I've yet to still get. I need to get one. Um, but there's that, and then yeah, she's also an assassin. She's also like a potentially inhuman or like some kind of enhanced assassin. I think she has like these those spinny blades that she can summon back to, and she chopped off Yo-Yo's arms. I think that's how Yo-Yo lost her arms. I think events are being set in motion. Like Coulson is sick and dying and everything. So then there's that, and then now Elena has lost both of her arms and everything. So they gotta I think change that, like prevent the kind of armless Yo-Yo in the future from happening. Actually give her bionic arms and change that. So then that way that's one thing changed. So easy to just like rewrite the kind of future according to what they already know. So, and then of course, Coulson is dying, so I think maybe Yo-Yo has to confront him about that. So then that happens. So then yeah, Ruby, she's like a cool assassin, chick with spinny blades and everything. So there's that, and I think she may as well be one of the kind of inhuman or enhanced. Because I think she got Creel too. I think, but the end of the episode showed us her recruiting Creel from Philadelphia. So I think he is back in the game now. I think he tried to get out of the game after Talbot was injured, because then I think he just kind of took that one a little bit personally. So then Hale managed to book him back into the game, and actually said that she's actually putting together a team and everything as well. So I think so far she's probably got Ruby and Creel, so that's interesting. I think Creel is he in? I think he's not Inhuman. Is he? I don't think Creel is. I don't think Creel is Inhuman. I can't remember how they said he got his powers, but I'm pretty sure. I think, despite the fact that they did him in season 2, I think they still did him in early season 2 when the Inhumans were just about coming in to the show and everything. So I think, but I think they still did him like long before they actually did start the Inhuman kind of arc and everything. So I think I really don't think he's Inhuman, but I think I think he probably does. I think does he still have his powers? Because I think they stopped him by freezing his powers, and then he came back in as Talbot's bodyguard in season 3, and we haven't seen him since then. So I don't know. I don't know what he's up to these days. I think he definitely he looked human and he looked okay when we saw him in the last episode. So don't know if he still has powers. Maybe if his powers are dormant, or if he just chooses not to use them or something. So either way, but I think Hale probably wouldn't recruit him if his powers didn't still work and everything. So I guess we shall have to wait and see if that is the case. Did a bit of a warm up, like to try and prepare and get myself energized for this video. So if I sound out of breath, then that's why, and also combined with my inability to actually stop talking so quickly. So yeah. Ruby and Creel on Team Hale. So there's that, and apparently she's putting together a team too. So her own little kind of villainous Avengers or whatever, or villainous Secret Warriors or whatever, or just a team, So yeah, she's back. So Hale is back. So yeah, that's stuff, and then the team were transported back to the lighthouse and everything. And then they met Noah. They met Noah, who was another Chronicom. I think probably succeeding or coming in after Enoch. And he was kind of keeping the lighthouse under protection. He was actually monitoring the world and trying to keep Shield and their name and their legacy protected. Because I think the lighthouse actually did end up being revealed to be like a shield bunker. I think Project Reclamation. I think we saw the kind of the projection of General Rick Stoner, played by Patrick Warburton. So I think he was like a kind of shield dude in the 70s and everything. So shield was responsible for Project Reclamation and actually building the lighthouse as an underground bunker and making it like a thing for survival and everything. So there were that, and then of course like Shield does, as Shield will, they also use the bunker to actually store unknown artifacts and other highly volatile kind of things. I think they had 3 whole monoliths. I I probably forgot to mention this in the last video. I think they actually had like 3 different monoliths. I think if I actually gonna go back into that episode, because I don't know how I forgot to mention those. I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention it. If not, then this will just be a cool way to actually recap what the scene actually showed us. I think they had like 3 different monoliths. Yeah, they had 3 different monoliths. I think one of them looks very similar to the one we saw in season 2 and 3, the pure kind of blackish grey one that took Simmons away. The other one looks very similar to the actual time one that took them to space and that took them to the future in the first place. And the other one has all sorts of little kind of circles and little patterns around this. I think 3 different monoliths. I think one of them controls space, one of them manipulates space, the other one controls time, the other one manipulates time. Or these allow for space and time travel, and then the third one, I don't know if we ever actually, if they've actually addressed that. I think they just kind of said that it was actually like monoliths that like they didn't even address them in that way. Just kind of said, oh, this is where we keep all the kind of items that are too dangerous to be kept to be kept above ground on Earth and everything. And now like only the people who, because the only people who know about the bunker are in the bunker. Now the only people who know what's inside the bunker are the people in the bunker. So, in the lighthouse even. So, 3 different monoliths. And then I think they brought in the device too, the beacon thing that summoned the Kree. Only that was actually like a decoy to try and draw them to the place in the first place, so the Hale could send Ruby to capture them and everything. So that was a burst, and they brought the beacon in, and then that started getting hot, and it blew up, and it killed Noah. Noah gave his life. He pushed Daisy and Fitz out of the way, and then he jumped on the thing like it was a grenade, and it blew up with him on it. And then I don't know if it blew up the entire room, or if it just kind of destroyed everything around it. But either way, we lost Noah almost as soon as we got him. We had Noah for 1 episode. We don't even have Enoch back yet. We already lost Noah. So Chronicoms clearly do not do not fare well in this show. Chronicoms don't really have very, very long-lasting fates in this show. So so I just remembered I actually forgot to, I'm pretty sure I forgot to talk about this monolith at all. But again, if I didn't, then again, just like a more kind of simplistic kind of secondary discussion. So but also we had Deke actually showed up. He wasn't meant to come back. He was meant to stay in his time and with his people and everything, but then he got brought back because the monolith that was in the machine that him and Enoch were working on, so he got brought back and everything. Only he got brought back, so there was that. So then he landed outside, out on like an actual habitable kind of surface of planet Earth, out in the middle of town and everything. So he managed to discover Earth for the first time. He hugged a tree and was instantly filled with euphoria. And then he went to a bar and he had burgers and beer and hated beer, and then took on I think what was it called, like Zuma or Zima or something was dead, and he built up a tab and had no idea how to pay for it, and then got himself drunk and then arrested and everything. So then Daisy all cleaned up nice and everything, and then she went to collect him and save him. So Deke's back. Deke is now in the kind of past / present. So gonna be interesting seeing where he goes from here. So I wanted Deke to survive, and now he does, but that's only half of the actual slate, and I need Enoch back as well. So hopefully there's a way to protect both of them and to bring them both back and everything. So I guess we shall see. But yeah, that's pretty much, I think, again, like a big intro, but I think those are pretty much all the key things. So, you know, General Hale's back, she has a daughter, Ruby, who's an assassin, Deke is back and he's fitting in, Noah, R.I.P., and everything, Lighthouse, so, yeah, pretty sure that's all there is to it, and also maybe other kind of tidbits too that are just kind of interconnected, but for the most part, that's it. So, yeah, on to episode number 12 of Season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so yeah, let's go. Is Noah in pieces, or was he incinerated? Like, what does a blown up Chronicom look like? Whoa! Is that a nun? That was a nun! Sister? And a crack in the wall? There's a crack in the wall! Hey, someone get 11 on the phone. Someone get the doctor on the phone now. We're dealing with a crack in the wall. Lash! What is this? Oh. Excuse me, what's going on? What is this? We getting throwbacks now? Is this gonna be like a throwback episode or something? Just one giant throwback. If it is a throwback episode, I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. If it's a throwback, I'm all here for it.
This immense forest now exists approximately 150 feet below us.
But there are
That's
clouds
below
in
you?
the sky.
Is that a portal?
Which is why its underground existence should be very alarming. That thing right there is another dimension bleeding back into our world.
Gallifrey's on the other side. Yeah, Gallifrey's on the other side.
So, good news is it might not be the one.
You're the only world I care about.
Oh.
You say the word, I'll carry you out of here and never look back.
Oh, damn. He's willing to leave S.H.I.E.L.D. for her?
Orange scented.
Orange.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's not flavored, it's not orange.
Oh my.
Okay, snack time's over, Huckleberry. Someone's waiting.
Oh god. It's like when you eat those like little coloured flavoured pens and you find out, oh, it's actually not. Or you actually eat them, you just lick them to see if they actually do taste like the colours.
Raised in a house by sucky parents.
More like an orphanage with mean, scary nuns.
Oh, the nuns! No, don't tell me they're going to be like scary nuns that she faced.
Just to be clear, you and I've never had a moment. That was just you telling me a story about your very nice mom and an orange.
Whoa, that was a Kree! Whoa! That's a Kree here! How the hell is a Kree here? Oh, through the eye. Oh, it's not even real. It's not even real. Is that like a
What the hell?
It's a manifestation.
I think that when the monoliths exploded, they tore open something that I can only describe as a fear dimension.
A fear dimension.
And it's leaking out.
Like a nightmare realm? Like a nightmare world or something?
No, me? No, hell no. No, I just got here. I just got to a world that's got ice cream and the orange scented stuff. So no. And in case any of you forgot, I already did the heroic sacrifice thing to get you all here. So I'm done.
He's
I'm not asking you to sacrifice yourself or your belt buckle.
the anti-grav belt buckle.
Oh.
It creates the applied gravity. I was hoping there was enough gravitonium within
Oh god, it's just, yeah.
force that can stitch together.
I mean, you gotta give it to him. He makes a fair point. He makes a fair point.
I'm sorry, but there's only one candidate.
Piper! She said 1,000 times she'll do anything for our forgiveness.
Fitz, cool it.
We're just
keep her in
willingly
holding.
handing over Piper.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then, if not her, who?
Look
Okay,
around.
okay,
No,
let's just
no. May is never going to be full strength, whether you'll admit it or not. Mac is seconds away from quitting again because the love of his life, our only other strong fighter, was literally cut to pieces.
Nobody quits.
Piper stabbed us in the frickin' back.
You gotta tell him, Coulson.
My God.
There's an idea, a symbol that must continue no matter what. A shield.
Oh no! Oh, he's gonna pass out. He's gonna pass out. Oh god, Coulson's gonna pass out. Coulson! Oh god, Coulson! God damn it!
Sorry,
Just get the goods. I'll be here when you get back.
What's this? Is this after he collapsed?
The tissue is already dead. There is no cure for that.
Maybe a
At least
extraction?
not anymore.
And taking out the dead tissue? Is
I
that
can only surmise that it's progressing at a rapid rate.
Whatever alien voodoo was holding me together, Ghost Rider burned through it. That was
Oh.
the price.
You make life and death decisions for us all the time, and we're not allowed the same courtesy. We deserve to.
We deserve to know.
Oh god. Oh no. No.
At some point, sir, your heart will just stop beating.
Fuck. They're really just gonna take. Is it like Coulson? Fuck.
You found me alone in an alley. And you gave me everything. A home, a belief, solid ground to stand on, but you were what I believe in.
You believe in yourself.
God, I stood on my toe.
If you want a symbol, you are the symbol. There's nothing without you. There's...
Come here.
He suffered enough.
What?
We've all suffered enough.
Wait, what? Whoa! Oh, 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 oh! No, fear, fear, fear. This is fear. Oh, is that an LMD? Is that an LMD? That's an LMD. LMD jammer. Oh, you freaky tech bitch.
It's expanding.
This crack in the wall is arguably worse than the one from Doctor Who.
This is the first time Miss Johnson's been sighted in months.
Oh, the
I'm
cops
not
reported
positive it's
her. God. Oh yeah, baseball cap and sunglasses. Yeah, this is how you know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is MCU canon. Only the MCU thinks this is an actual plausible disguise. Yeah, this is how you know it's canon.
You never know what might show up. He could lead us to Miss
Oh,
Johnson.
Thor and Iron Man. Yeah, that's cool.
Because I have every intention of walking back out of that basement. Just because I've made peace with dying doesn't mean I'm in a hurry.
That's good then. Yeah.
Is this to protect me from the Dimensions effect?
Yeah,
Just
it's a 50 caliber.
50 cal. Oof.
Should take down anything you run into.
Damn, just aim for the head. Make every shot count. Make every shot count. Yeah.
That other thing we talked about.
Oh, what did
I
you?
want you to promise me that you'll do that no matter what happens.
No, it's not important. Especially now, it's
What other thing?
symbolic. It doesn't really change anything.
Symbols are important. Institutions are important.
The wedding. Oh
People
yeah,
need
no,
things
yeah,
to believe in
yeah.
things.
The wedding, right? Because they proposed. The wedding's what happened.
People need hope.
Okay.
The Fitzsimmons wedding. Come on, let Coulson do it so he can let Coulson survive so he can officiate. Come on, Coulson officiating the wedding. What could be better? What could be better than that? It's like a level in Alien Isolation. Oh gosh.
Hello,
Oh,
Agent Coulson.
oh, Mike,
It's time I told you what's really going on here.
Mike, he's back.
No, Coulson, I'm telling you that you've never been to Tahiti, or Malta, or Puerto Rico, or outer space, or the framework, or the future.
Just imagine if all of this from season 1 was just like a hallucination.
Or that your brain is being stimulated with electricity to revive it, and your conscience is trying to make sense of random synapses firing off in your brain.
Oh God! Don't you do this! Don't do this! Don't you do this!
To vacation on a white beach with blue water, to travel to the stars, a car that flies,
Lola.
your own team,
Oh
to have
no!
a family, the brilliant students you never got a chance to mentor, the daughter you never had.
No! I hate you! I hate you, fake Mike. God, I hate that crack in the wall more than anything right now. Oh, the S.H.I.E.L.D. theme's playing. Deke. Deke came with people? Davis? Mike, real Mike, real Mike! Real Mike, the Deathlock we know and love. The real Mike's back. Davis! With the scar. What is this? Real Mike and Deke came back with real Mike and Davis and a bunch of people? Oh! Yeah, the real Mike kills the fake Mike. Yeah, the real Mike kills the fake Mike.
Coulson, pick up the doodad. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. That's the real Mike. That's the Mike Peterson we know and love. Lash is back. Oh, that was good. Superhero landing, baby. Oh, flips, all sorts of things. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Hive. Oh God, Hive is back. Oh, in his Squidward form. Oh damn. Oh jeez. This episode is throwbacks galore.
You're real, right? Please tell me you're real.
Would that make this any less awkward?
Yeah.
They're just nap buddies, yeah. Yeah. Oh God, that was great. That was great. Oh. Fist looking dapper. Oh, are they doing the thing? Is he dressed up for his?
That means a lot coming from you too. It was pretty touch and go up there for a while.
Is he dressed up for his wedding?
I called around to tell the Daisy Johnson story and was able to get everything off the checklist, though no one had ever heard of Haig.
Haig, a bottle of Haig. A bottle of Haig. What did he get? Don't tell me he got like Gatorade or something. Zima. Oh, it was Zima. It was Zima. Oh, he's all dressed up for the wedding. It's his wedding day.
Tuck your pants into your shoes. Nothing gets up.
Fits his face.
I was obviously talking about Deathlock. Is he sticking around?
No. He rolls solo. Fritz, are you stalling?
Of course he's stalling. He's nervous for his wedding.
Stalling just now.
Today's the day, son. Today's your special day.
It's gonna be great.
It's like father and son. I'm gonna be screeching for this entire for the rest of this episode. Oh, this is gonna be beautiful. This is gonna be beautiful. How does Simmons look? Is she gonna get? I don't know if she's gonna get like a pretty white dress, but gosh, yeah. Oh, Daisy and May. How does Simmons look?
We are gathered here today for a moment we all knew was coming. And I think we can all agree that to wait even 1 second to do this is playing with fire. All in favor?
Aye.
The
All
ayes
the
have
ayes.
it.
Oh, Fitz is going to speak from the heart, isn't he? Fitz is going to do it from the heart, as he always does.
I knew from the moment we joined this team for adventures and got more than we had hoped. My love for you grows deeper and always will.
Oh,
No matter where the universe takes us next.
that was great. That was great. That was great. Oh, God.
Is he full cyborg or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
jeez. Yeah.
I think that you are perfect. And I don't deserve you, Gemma. I don't deserve you. And I'm well aware that I'm the luckiest man on any planet.
Please, before this forest collapses around us,
Yeah, the roof is supposed to be closing now, right? So this is all going to be gone soon. Yeah.
repeat after me.
I'm actually shaking. And my ears are hot. My heart pounding. Just.
Turns out a lot of people pawn wedding rings.
You were from a pawn
I did
shop.
find one that was going to be small enough for his little boy fingers.
Ah.
And then for hers, looks just like this one that my mom used to wear sometimes. It was my grandma's, I think.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Thinking Deke Shaw could possibly be an LMD. Ran a genetic profile to see if he was biologically linked to anyone.
Oh, who is
No.
his parents? His parents.
Too.
Who are his parents? Oh no, his mum or his grandparents, maybe.
Now, by the powers vested in me, by the two of you,
Piss
happy to
the
pronounce you
fuck off. No way.
So what about you? Bride or groom?
Both.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really know either one of them.
Are they his grandparents? They're his freaking grandparents. Talk about a 12th episode, Jesus. Oh God. So he got what? Oh God, this episode just there's a lot to think about. There's a lot to contemplate. I don't even know. This episode needs a rewatch. This episode needs an almost immediate rewatch. I legitimately don't think, like, I was only warned in one way. About this episode, and that was thanks to Monsieur Liam Catterson over on Twitter being like, oh, next episode, oh boy, you ain't ready for this, you ain't ready. And he was right, and anyone who agrees with him was right. I'm pretty sure everyone, after watching my reaction to episode 11 was like, okay, 12, you need to prepare in some way, and, I clearly didn't. I clearly did not. I'd say if my immediate reaction to this is that this episode requires a damn near immediate rewatch. Like, you need to actively rewatch this because so much shit goes down in this one episode. My brain is hot, my ears are hot, my everything is hot. Just my head feels heavy all of a sudden. Wow. Just whoever directed this episode just deserves, a round of drinks and a round of applause and a firm handshake and just everything. This was just beautifully done and beautifully paced from start to finish, and it hit all the heavy notes, both big and small and happy and sad and dramatic and easy breezy and everything. This episode just had everything you could want, and it was such a great throwback one too. I think the logo hit me like a ton of bricks, like the actual title card, all the title cards coming in too, or at least like all the different stylized ones coming in, hit me like a ton of bricks, just like an evolution of the show from this from then to now. Cause this was just wow. This was wow, and I think I just wow, just wow. I'm actually trying to. I even have stuff written down, but I actively don't know where to start. I think probably start from the top, just because that's the easiest way to do it, probably. So no thanks to Colonel to General Hale for actually rigging the orb to blow up inside the room with 3 monoliths, because then you blow, clearly, as Fitzy Boy explained. You blow up 3 monoliths together, and it rips a hole in freaking space-time. It creates, again, it's not strictly a hole in the wall, just a hole in thin air, just in like a hole in space, but displayed against like an actual wall backdrop. It actually looks like a crack in the wall and everything, so close enough. But you do that, and then that happens, and then apparently that rip in particular actually is on the other side of is actually halfway between our world and then apparently the world of freaking nightmares and fears and manifestations of all those things. So I think my one complaint would be that should have been a separate thing. That should have been like its own episode. I think that would not even a complaint. I think that would be my one observation about that. I think that whole concept and the consequences of that kind of that of that happening, of that rift and everything. I think that very much deserved its own episode. I think that definitely deserved its own episode and everything. It did kind of show them closing the rift, but I think because of course the underground like lakeside kind of thing stood open enough for long enough for their wedding to happen. I think it kind of goes to show that maybe the next episode could be them still trying to get out wild. So I doubt it, but I think. That's why I think that rift thing should have been its own episode, and then maybe the wedding stuff should have been everything following on from that should have been the next episode. But then they kind of leads into that really beautifully and everything. So I get why, but I think the concept of it being like a throwback in that sense, I think that warrants it to be its own episode. But I think it definitely for the most part still works to be its own kind of dilemma that they have to solve, and then that kind of leads into the ease and the kind of calmness and the resolution that is the wedding of 2 of our favourite babies in this entire, universe and everything. So it works. It just works. So yeah. But yeah, the entire concept of their fears and everything they faced, not just their fears, but their fears as a result of the stuff that they faced before, coming back to haunt them. I think that definitely for me it warranted having its own episode of if they really intended on going down the throwback route, then go into it full force, because I think now we're far enough into this show's run to warrant that kind of like an actual celebration kind of thing. Actually having it be like a like a nightmare thing opens up, but then it's like, oh, everything you faced from before comes at you. So like, Hive came in, Lash came up, but there was a freaking nun. Nun, I guess, that works in like a very, very kind of horrible, scary genre, like a horror genre type setting too. I think especially with Daisy having grown up in like an orphanage, I think that would have been a great thing to see too. Maybe if we saw like more of Daisy's backstory from the orphanage actually being shown there, because like all we saw was a nun walking past. I mean, that was creepy, but all we really saw was a nun walking past. If we actually saw her actually having to face one of the nuns and then them using her old name and even chastising her or doing something else, then that would have made for such a cool thing. Actually having her, obviously we don't want to see Daisy in pain, but still, like it would have been cool, like to actually put the characters into that kind of like a tense and dramatic kind of situation and everything, and like where they have to face like not just things that are trying to kill them, but things actively trying to tear them down and things actively tormenting them, because if it's thing they fear, like what you fear affects you more up here than it does anywhere else. So actually seeing the team struggling but then reconciling with each other and actually kind of then strengthening and emboldening and actually facing their fears would have been like a really cool episode concept to have. So it was cool nonetheless. But we saw like nuns, we saw Lash too. We saw Lash coming in and he was a quick one and done thing, and then Hive came in and he was quick and one and done too. So I think it definitely made for like cool appearances here and there. So that much was very much enjoyable. So that was cool. So we had them. I think, do we have anything else? I think we had the Kree. The Kree tried to attack Deke, and then they he actually kind of succeeded, because I think he's still got the slash on the arm with the bandage on it and everything. So yeah, that was cool. So the Kree, the Nun, Hive, Fake Mike. He was the most prominent one, I think. And props, I think they brought Mike back in two ways too. They brought real Mike back, and they had him be in season 1 Mike again. So props to I think his name is August Richards. I think there's a J, right? I think I'm pretty sure there's a J. I think J August Richards who plays Mike Peterson. Props to them for bringing him back, and props to him for beautifully playing the actual Mike, and then of course the actual fear manifestation. The fear manifestation of Mike was actually so good too. So him, I think that also made for the ultimate throwback too. Like the very first episode, the pilot episode of like it being Mike and him being the one that the team has to rescue and also stop from causing any further harm to. So like him, like season 1 episode 1 Mike being the one to come back, before all the modifications too. I think he said no weapons at any point to his release. I think that might mean that this was actually like an actual human Mike too, like not the post centipede Mike that they had to stop in the pilot. So I think actually bringing the very first thing he faced with his new team back to try and coax him into this kind of falsified kind of story, just top notch. But yeah, no, I think Fake Mike, the whole scene with Fake Mike was so well done. Like so many of the actual like interpersonal dialogue scenes in this episode were just so well constructed, so well executed. Like the writing, the acting, just everything about it was on point. Like the stuff with the team, but then also stuff with Fake Mike. It was just all so well constructed, so well shot and executed and everything. Just so well done overall. It just fits into this episode so well. This easily is actually working its way up to be one of my favourite episodes of the season as a whole. Definitely wants a rewatch, because again, I think I need to actively rewatch like a few scenes and rewatch a few things to actually really cement it. But easily, this is such a solid episode from start to finish. Just it's like an emotional Thomas the Tank Engine actually falling on you and actually crushing you or something. Like it's just so good. But that scene with the Fake Mike, I think him being the one, like, and I think that's an interesting one too, because I think the way that they explain it too makes it feel like, oh, they'll just be to be fair, I think Fitz did say it like it wasn't simple enough to just walk in, throw the thing in, and then come back out again. Like like he said, you will face stuff in there, but then he said you'll face other people's fears, like the rest of the team's fears, and you'll face your own fears too. But then even the way he describes it, it's like, oh, you'll probably kind of it'll be like a constant running kind of combat situation. You'll probably be fighting and then throw the thing in and then fighting your way out again too. But then with this, it's like, wow, he's actively being mentally challenged by someone he saved before, someone he faced before, and he's actively being kind of, coaxed into this lie that he momentarily on and off kind of believes in and then doesn't believe in and then denies and everything, and it's like it's a manifestation designed to combat his mind in the most kind of terrifying ways, and it's just like wow, okay, just wow, okay, so just throw that at him, why don't you? But then the actual significance of it being the very first person he fought but then also saved, actually being the one who was back. But then of course again the rift manifests what you're afraid of, so then I think that then being then, I think, I think this entire episode kind of being constructed around that too, like Coulson, like, his life may well literally be coming to an end now at this point too, because he got very lucky before, because again, had Fury not ordered everything that he did, had like Fury also wouldn't have done it for anyone else. I think, like maybe not for the, like, besides from the Avengers and Hill and Coulson, I feel like Fury would not have done it for anyone else. I think I think Coulson got very lucky with the fact that Fury was willing to go as far as he did to do what he did to bring him back. So that's why he got the second chance. That's why he he got the second chance to be a leader again, to lead a team, to save people, to do what he always believed in doing, to do some good and everything. And now that was his second chance. I think he's been through so much. I think if you think about the first 4 seasons, like, so much shit has gone down. Season 4 alone was easily like, that easily, season 4 alone warrants like a trip to the freaking therapist for him and for everyone on the team. So like all the stuff he's been through, I think it's also what it feels like. I don't know if this is accurate, but I think I did hear that like season 5, 6, and 7, in terms of actual releasing, in terms of actual production, I think those were the ones rumored where it's like, people didn't know until until after each season, like until after each season finished. I think people didn't really know like which one was going to be the end, because I think after season 5, as season 5 was there, like apparently there was no word on whether there would be a season 6, so then people thought, oh, this might be the end, this might be where they actually end things off. But then no, after that they got picked up for season 6, and then people thought that would be the end. But then no, season 7 I think was then not only announced but then also kind of rumored and then confirmed to be the show's final season. So then I think I've heard kind of stories. I think like a couple of years back about like how season 5 and 6 were were the ones where it's like people were just watching without really knowing what was going to happen, and actually actively not knowing, is this going to be the end, or is this going to warrant another season? Are they going to have another story ready for us, or what's going to happen? So I can definitely, like, going down this path too, I think with this episode actually then really driving home the fact that Coulson is pretty much inching closer and closer to his deathbed. I can definitely see also even this season being the final one. I think this one being there, because then again, if you kill off Coulson, not to say that the team couldn't go on, but I think that could be the thing. Like that could be what the final episode could be. Like, Coulson does die, he gives his life, or he dies like a peaceful-ish death with his family and his team surrounding him and everything, but then that's the end. And I think maybe they might do one more season without Coulson, just to see what it's like, just to really kind of actually strengthen the team and have them lead their own mission for like one season, and that would be it. Like maybe they could have done it that way, but besides from that, I can definitely see this one. I could definitely see them kind of gearing up for this one to be the final thing. So, because again, even the way the first arc went, the mission was about returning home, but then we see what happens after that. Like, there was no definitive end game besides from get our people back home. So after that, it kind of gave them 2 different fronts. It gave them one front to return home and do that mission, but then on the other front, it gave them kind of time and space to really explore a whole new kind of future, a whole new kind of setting, like a whole new kind of darker, more kind of twisted and more kind of terrifying story. So it gave them chance to do that. But then afterwards, it's like, even with Coulson saying like, like there's always a mission, there's always something to do, so we do it and we go home and we keep saving the world. But then even then, it's like that's definitely the kind of thing that can really happen off screen. Like, you can end the story being like, and the team went on in light of Coulson's death, and they stood stronger together and they kept saving the world, and then that was it. So then you can easily have that running off in the background. So because of that, I can definitely kind of see exactly like how this this episode itself would have actually been prepping people to be like, okay, this might be where it all ends, if they're really willing to kill Coulson in a way. Because then the way this episode runs too, there is no way they pack all of this in only to save Coulson in the end, or only to actually not really lead into that, or like actually pull like another twist or anything. So it's just like I think I can see in some ways how it might be a bit confusing, but then also like for the most part, it's like, okay, we might need to prepare for the end here. We actually might need to prepare for the actual legitimate end of the show here. Because of this, because story stuff, but then also because there's literally no news on whether the show's been renewed, whether they're going to do another season, or if there's any kind of other ideas like a spin-off. I mean, I don't know if people want like I think Agents of Shield itself is like it is both a standalone product and also like a spin-off of the larger MCU. So doing a spin-off of a spin-off, it would be cool to see like what other characters they actually want to focus on, or what other characters they actually want to do adventures and stuff for. But for the most part, I think I can definitely see where the tension and the confusion would have actually come from. I need to drink. So yeah. Yeah, like Mike, like his whole kind of thing being like, oh, this has all been a dream. This has all been a dream, like a dream that you have because you have refused to accept reality, even when you're on the actual, even when you're on the table being operated on, like your brain just constantly replacing reality with all these fake events. So, like season 1, all of it fake, like, oh, Hydra never won, all that stuff never happened. Season 2 never happened. Season 3 never happened. Like everything. And I think in the most twisted way, it's like that could actually make sense too, because the longer it goes on, his mind could conjure up even crazier events to happen. It's like, okay, I hate this because it's not true, but then also it makes so much sense too, because it starts off easy. Season 1 is the breeziest season out there. Season 1 is the breeziest, most calmest, most, teddy bear style season ever. But then as things go on, they get darker, they get heavier, they deal with more losses, they deal with harsher threats, they deal with all these different things. And season 4 alone, even fake Mike actually questioning, like, do you really think your head, blew up into fire? Do you really think that happened? Do you really think you were in some kind of alternate reality where you were a history teacher just because your dad was one? We find that out. His dad was maybe his dad was a history teacher. I think we don't really fully know. I wrote that down anyway in case it was a detail, but either way, it's like, do you really think that all this stuff would happen? It's like in a twisted sense, I think realistically, I don't know if that would be possible with people who do maybe go under those conditions, or if that is like an actual real thing. But even in the fiction of this story, in this particular setting, in like a twisted way, it kind of makes sense too. It's like, like the longer he goes on, the longer he carries on trying to, like, his mind, like if that were the real case, like the longer he goes on, he keeps on trying to deny stuff. His mind keeps on conjuring up all these different intricate and crazier, more fantastical kind of situations and everything. And it's like, he keeps, facing all these different more weirder threats. And it's like, that's why it's in like a twisted way, it actually makes sense. But then, like, deep down, it's not. And then even as an audience member, it's like, you're on like half a mind. Like on the one hand, it's like, no, it's real because all the stuff is too good to not be true. It's just too real to not be true. But on the other hand, it's like, oh my god, that actually kind of makes sense. It actually, it makes sense that like his mind, even if he himself is actually still dreaming of stuff that he wishes could happen, because even then, even Mike said, like, your second chance was you just dreaming of doing all the stuff that you never could happen, you dreaming of coming back to life and leading a team, being a mentor, teaching people and saving people from all these different threats, actually being like a hero in your own right without powers and everything. And it's like, yeah, so then he's dreaming of all the different threats that he would take on. He's dreaming of essentially being an Avenger, Fury told him, he counted and considered Coulson as an Avenger, so that's why he used the Tahiti thing and the actual stuff on him to actually resurrect the fallen Avenger and everything. So then because of that, he starts to think of himself as an Avenger, taking on potential Avengers level threats and everything, or even preventing them from becoming Avengers level threats. So I love the writers and I hate the writers. Like, it's just like this episode was just like such a brain melt, a brain fuck, and a brain melt, and a brain bomb. Just, actually bombarding you with all these different things, and it's like, God. And then even showing those flashbacks didn't help either. Like, actually, like as he mentions each and every little thing, like, oh, your team, and he shows the flashback, and those little, when I say these were blink and you'll miss it, if you blinked, you would not catch them. If I were to rewind, I would literally hold my eyes open like that. Like, they were blink and you'll miss it. So, yeah, but then, as he mentioned each and everything, like, those little blips of, like, the team from, like, all those, like, different shots back in Season 1, like, actually showing the evolution of the team and everything, and his people, and actually, like the missions, the team, his family, the daughter you never had. The Daisy and Coulson content in this episode is enough to really have me sitting down, just thinking about my problems, just being like, yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of them. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is definitely one of them. This show is definitely just one of my problems. It actually has no right to become this much of an emotional wreck in my life as it is. So, Yeah, but yeah, as he's going down the list and everything, it's like the entire time, that entire situation is actually making Coulson, it's actually holding Coulson back, it's actually actively holding him back, making him process all of this, and then even then, I think the most kind of I think one of the most significant things being the fact that like from the get go, fake Mike establishes he's fake. He's like, I know I'm fake, you know I'm fake. We both know I'm just a figment of your imagination. But then it's like it's the denial in your brain, in your mind, manifesting itself, actually bringing to light all these doubts and questions, and actually making you evaluate everything that's been going on. Because then if you really think, and if you know you're about to die, then obviously you're gonna have to like once you're down there, like in like the kind of the kind of combination of going down there knowing that your life is teetering on the edge, but then also not knowing that you're going down into like an actual into a level of the lighthouse kind of filled with your darkest horrors and your deepest nightmares and everything like that kind of stuff is going to have this exact effect on you, and it's going to make you bring your own doubts and your own fears to life and everything. And I think it's like the fact that it actually carries on directly from his kind of scenes with the team and with Daisy and everything, like that kind of stuff was just wow. This episode is draining. This episode is actually draining. Just wow. I had no idea what I was walking into. I legitimately had no idea like what kind of a storm I was walking into. So yeah. But yeah, no, that scene between Coulson and the team. So I mean, yeah, the Coulson stuff. So yeah, Coulson is legitimately dying. He's dying, and I did not expect it to be as hard hitting as this. I think I feel like I think I think it wasn't even preparation. I think the writers having Yo-Yo say like you have to let him die wasn't even preparation. That was just like that was just like maybe attempted preparation, but then in the end it still doesn't even work because then the truth actually hits harder. The truth for me, it hits hard. It definitely hit harder than future Yo-Yo saying Phil Coulson is dying and you have to let him, because then I think that whole kind of thing is presented on two sides too. Because I think on this end you get the like phase one of everything that's about to go down, but then by the time you reach her end, it's like all the shit she's been through, that's a breadcrumb compared to everything she's lost. So for her it's like obviously it's such a minor detail that she's mentioned, because like she doesn't mention what's killing him, she doesn't mention what's happening, she just says that's the first that's one of the first few things to happen, and I think it leads into all this kind of stuff to come that destroys the earth and halves humanity in like a non-Thanos way and everything. So for her that was a breadcrumb. I think when you start off with this, it actively does understandably hit a lot harder. So yeah, Coulson he is dying, and Simmons came in with the med report and everything, so it's like tissue that was dead for years. I think she mentioned it was tissue dead for years. I think and then Coulson confirmed that it was actually Ghost Rider burned through alien voodoo holding him together. So I think the alien voodoo would probably be like the actual GH325 and everything. But I was always under the impression that Kree blood would do its job and then just kind of dissolve in his bloodstream or dissolve into his biology or something. Obviously I think the lingering side effects were his mind stuff and the writings on the wall and the stuff that we explored in season 2. But I thought that was all like a one and done thing. Like by the time they actually found it and solved it and discovered it, I thought after that he seemed pretty much fine for the most part. So I thought, is this like that's done and dusted now the blood has done its job, so now that's just dissolved or disappeared or something. So I think because then if you think of like regenerative stuff, like you think it regenerates, it bonds, it does its job, and then it just kind of disappears. Like you wouldn't think it would need to stay behind, or they would actually need to be like remnant in any shape or form to do its job. But no, apparently Ghost Rider, understandably, Ghost Rider of all things actually burned through the alien voodoo holding him together after he got brought back and after he died and everything. Because what Loki did was actually piercing him through the heart too. I was gonna say it's surprising that he lasted as long as he did in that scene in the movie, because then if he got pierced through the heart is arguably a much more vital organ, so any injury to that would be fatal. But then he literally did not last more than like 2 minutes. I think it wasn't like he actually got like a whole kind of 5-minute monologue scene. So he really didn't last that long. He was phasing in and out, and then he eventually just kind of faded away and everything. So it happened. So yeah. Just damn, yeah. So yeah, the Ghost Rider burned through the kind of GH325 actually bonding, like the Kree blood actually bonding his heart together, actually keeping it together and things. So then because of that, I think the dead tissue, I think I'm trusting that's like not just kind of flesh or any other kind of tissue. I think I'm trusting that's actually the tissue of his heart that's kind of been rotted away because it's dead and because it's actually, you know, like just been damaged and stuff for that long. So then that's kind of like that kind of I mean, she mentioned there is no infection, but I think like having dead tissue inside your body also doesn't really sound very healthy. So I think maybe then that dead tissue then expands and mutates and becomes more, and it actually starts to affect like everything else there that's healthy too. So then even my idea of like an extraction just wouldn't be possible. So I mean, or even that might end up killing him. So it's like it's completely incurable. As she mentioned, it's completely incurable, and he's gonna die from it. So I think also that's it's the most human death they could give him. It's the most human death they could give him. The fact that his what killed him in the first place has actually mutated to become something more, and will likely kill him over again in like an arguably worse way. So it's like he's not being blasted by laser guns. He's not being teleported into like the fires of Mount Doom or anything. He's just literally what killed him in the first place is coming back with a very angry alien and fiery vengeance. So yeah, I think if he was gonna die, if he was gonna die in any way, I think that would be the least surprising. That would be the least surprising way that he could actually die, for him to be taken out by, you know, like a mutated version of the thing that took him out in the first place. So yeah. Just rewatched like that a bit of that kind of clip where they explain the Ghost Rider deal and everything. So yeah, he confirms that it burned right through it, and I think and then I think Mac then questions like, oh, so what then? Ghost Rider gets to burn for longer. So I think my original theory was then like possession of the body, like actually then Ghost Rider then actually comes back to claim the body and he gets to keep it or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't even think if that would actually work for Ghost Rider. Like I think Ghost Rider. You know, I think at least like from my understanding of Ghost Rider's history with the possessions of like Johnny Blaze and Robbie, and then Robbie as well. I think they're both healthy, alive people. I think they were on the verge of death. I think they were on the verge. I think Johnny. I don't know about Johnny because I don't know about his kind of history besides from the Nick Cage movie. But I think Robbie, he was on the verge of death. He literally got thrown from the car and tossed onto the road and everything. So he was on the verge of death, and he also wanted to save his brother too. So, you know, so then he made that deal. So that was that. But then with Coulson, yeah, I think like in the finale of season 4, I think Coulson did say like, you know, because I think then possession might be the case, or ownership of the body then, or claiming of the body might be what the deal is, because then it's like, you know, because then Coulson says, you know, I'm just glad, he's glad that Ghost Rider kept his part of the deal and went back into him, but then Robbie acknowledges, like, that's why he made the deal, so then he will leave for now, but then he'll probably come back once you're done and dusted, because then he knew since Ghost Rider, so that's when it actually ended and everything. And even in that one, it was, like, a quick thing, too, like, he literally entered for the sole purpose of helping Coulson defeat Ada. Like that was it. Like he didn't want to be the Ghost Rider. He didn't actually want to, you know, carry that spirit with him forever. So he literally only used it because the Ghost Rider was the only one powerful enough and everything. And I think for that one scene too, I think when Robbie was on the Zephyr with Daisy watching Mac and Elena, so then he didn't have the Ghost Rider within him, and I think he probably didn't have the Ghost Rider in him in that scene. So then it was after Coulson killed Ada that he actually went back into Robbie. So yeah, so then that's the deal then. So then he helps him, he gets the power, but then the power comes at the price of, you know, Coulson then actually, that was the price. I'll give you the power, but then this power will cost you your literal life, because then whatever has been keeping you alive for this long is gonna go. It's gonna disappear. So yeah, yeah, so it's literally different elements of this episode are hitting me at different speeds. Because I think it was bad enough being bombarded with it when I was actually watching the episode, but now it's like actually actively thinking about the stuff that went down in this and actively connecting it to the past and connecting it back to different moments in the last season and everything. It's hitting all over again. It's like now it's a realization thing. Like before it was just like an impact hit, but now it's actually dawning on me like, oh, that's the gravity of the situation. That's the reality of the situation. I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this feeling. It's the realization of like, oh, that's why he's dying. Oh, he's dying. Oh, we're gonna lose him. I don't know whether to cry or laugh. At this point, I just cry laughing. At this point, I just cry laughing. Oh gosh, yeah. At this point, I'm just cry laughing. I'm just cry laughing. So, yeah. It's just like it's a really healthy realization that's actually dawning on me as to why and how we're about to lose Coulson. And oh yeah, we're about to lose Coulson. So. Yeah, I love this show. I love this show for doing what it does to me. So, yeah, it's great. It's great. But yeah, the scene that had me in one of the few scenes that had me in a chokehold in this episode, easily the scene with the team, him actively having to confront the team after they find out the truth about what's actually killing him and what's taking him away. Like that scene. I love this cast. I love this cast because the like that like for the most part, I think from what I remember there was little to no music playing, and little to no music, no score, no background thing. The entire scene, and the tension in that scene was solely dependent on, on the characters. The characters actively struggling to to actually kind of what's the word to actually struggling to stand strong together in light of this news, because this news just rendered them speechless and in like an actual state of actual contemplation at what's to come and everything. And then Coulson comes in and he has to clear the air, and then he knows it's going to be like an actual nightmare and everything. But each member of the cast just each character just actually actively questioning and dealing, and actually just dealing with this thing in their own way too. Just everyone reacting somewhat differently, but all still for the most part the same. Just hats off to this cast. They know how to pull off a scene. They know how to execute a story. They know how to make you believe in them and how to love them and everything. Just, oh god, because I think that scene too actively does reinforce the fact that this is a family. That this show is built around a family of people dedicated to saving the world and saving each other at the same time. So that scene, if anything, is one of the most grounded things I've ever seen from them, and it's the most human, most vulnerable kind of states that we've ever seen them in. So just that entire scene just had me just trying to process the truth, trying to process their reactions, trying to process everything going on. Just, oh god, just seeing all of them speechless and on the verge of tears, and some of them wanting to break down, and others just wanting to just to do something. And it actually was made so well. It was written and executed so well, and it was actually constructed so well, and everyone knew how to pull this off in the most heart-wrenching way. Just I'm tired. I'm tired. This show makes me tired now. I think now it's fair to say that this show is actually making me tired at the amount of shit it's giving me to have to deal with. The amount of shit it makes me actually deal with is actually just, it's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. So yeah. And yeah, oh god, if the team scene had me in a chokehold, the Daisy and Coulson scene was actively choking me to death. It was actively suffocating me. It was actively drawing the oxygen out of my lungs, and then actively had its hands down my throat and everything. That scene. It's unfair to make me have to go through all of that after four and a quarter seasons of this show, having to go through a Daisy and Coulson scene like that is unfair. That's what it is. That's unfair. Making me go through that, seeing them actively, Daisy actively, because even to begin with, Daisy is vehemently against Coulson going down there anyway, but then now they face that kind of future with with Daisy knowing the truth about Coulson's thing, and Daisy then throwing away all of what's about to happen, actually sidelining what's about to happen, but then saying you can't die because I've only gotten this far because of you. Daisy doing the whole kind of throwback to season 1 too, you found me in on the side of it in the alleyway in the RV, doing her rising tide shit, and then he brought her into the bigger picture and actually allowed her to flourish and blossom like the beautiful Daisy Bell she was always destined to be and everything, and he gave her a home, a purpose, and she has been on the craziest and arguably the most painful kind of joyride she's ever been on. But then in the end, she's fallen, but then she's risen so much higher than ever before, and it's all at least partially because of her. I think because of her pain, I think she is giving him. She's giving him credit where credit's due, but I think because of her pain and because of the fact that she's about to lose him too, I think she is actively prioritizing him in that kind of credit list too. And because then, I think reasonably speaking, you'd also owe a lot to her. You owe a lot to May. You owe a lot to the rest of the team. It would be a team effort helping to like a combined kind of team and kind of personal effort actually helping Daisy become Daisy, going from Sky to Daisy to Quake and everything. But then with her, I think she needs Coulson to know just how important her daddy was in her life. Cal was her father, but Coulson has been her daddy. I think I can't remember exactly how the Yondu's line from Guardians goes. I think he's like, I may not have been your father, but I can't he's like Ego may have been Quill's father, but then Yondu was his daddy. So Coulson was Daisy's daddy, but then. Or at least her dad. I don't know if daddy sounds appropriate or like weird in this case, but I think he was her dad. He was her dad, but then Cal was her father. So and I think she had like a rocky but kind of like neutral kind of journey with Cal in the end. But with Coulson, nothing but protection and shelter and belief and encouragement. And like him believing in her nonstop, even when she doesn't believe in herself, even when she doesn't believe in herself, but then even when she actively chooses not to, like this entire season, she has been adamant on not returning home because she thinks she might be the reason that Earth and humanity loses everything it's got. But then Coulson is like, I don't care if you're going to destroy this world, I'm bringing you back with me, and we will find another way, because he cares too much about her to let the destruction of he cares too much about her to let the potential destruction of the world get in the way of like actually bringing his daughter back home with him. And I think again that could very easily be seen as flaw too, because I think that there could very easily be people out there who believe that I think Coulson should have actually left her behind, or at least like respected her wishes. But then I think from start to finish, I think especially in the in light of all the betrayals and losses that this team has suffered too, I think Coulson, if there's one thing Coulson is adamant about, it's keeping the tightest grip he can on the people who actively are there because they want to be and because they actively are good and true to the team. After Ward's betrayal, like that one shook them to their core. That one shook them to their core. They didn't know who they could trust. But then from the start, the Buskers as a whole have been on S.H.I.E.L.'s side 24/7. They've been there. They've been beside Coulson. They've been the ones that Coulson can trust. And Daisy has been under his wing like since day one too, like him training her however he could, like in all the ways that he could, and May training her in all the ways that she could and everything. Like it's just been reinforcing that kind of father-daughter relationship in them that's been there kind of blossoming since day one, and her actually actively coming into light of of a different, bigger and arguably better kind of cause than the Rising Tide ever gave her, and her actually finding her place in the world because of him. And she needs him to know that I think for her, even if he is still adamant on going down and sacrificing his life or even dying without letting them save him, then she needs him to know how important he is in her life. And that's painful. You know what that is? That's painful. Just this episode is gonna keep me up tonight. I'm actively gonna be up, like either rewatching this, and or just thinking, just lying awake in bed like this at night, just being like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, that happened. Oh god, that happened too. Just no sleep. I mean, that's not like a unusual thing, but still, this is going to be like an actual, like slightly more justified lack of sleep. But yeah, that scene. So Coulson the team and Coulson and Daisy too. Just and I think even then, I think Coulson then wanting Daisy to actually lead the team. I think his initial thing being like, if he goes, then he wants Daisy to actually help lead what's left of S.H.I.E.L.D. and for her to be potentially the director, and everything, which would align with actually what's there in the comics too, and everything. But then I think I mean that's what he's saying he wants her. But then whether or not she would take up that position, or whether or not she would actively feel like she's ready to take up that position too, is a whole other question. Maybe she would actually hand it off to someone else who's actively more stable and more kind of comfortable with actually stepping into a leadership position after facing a loss like that. So that's a whole different story. And yeah, I think there was that scene where Coulson actually had like a personal kind of request for Deke too. Like he gave him the whole kind of, I mean, he advised him or gave him like a disguise to help him blend in, and he warned him not to get arrested again because they really can't go back out and save him. So he did that, and I think again, yeah, this is how, you know, I think it's been done before too. I think it's been done before as a disguise, like the whole baseball cap glasses kind of thing. It's been done before. I think even on this show. But yeah, again, you know, for all the MCU canon naysayers and everything, this is how you know this show is MCU canon. You know, baseball cap, like characters who genuinely believe that a baseball cap. And so, I mean, you know, like, I mean, he did change everything. He didn't wear the exact same. I think he had like a new jacket, new shirt. Like he had new clothes on actively too. So I mean, maybe if he shaved or something as well, then maybe that would have made a slight difference. But I think he made it back. I think that's the more thing. He actually made it back. He bumped into one guy, quickly, you know, walked it off and everything. But then besides from that, he actively completed almost everything on Coulson's list and everything, and he got the job done. So he made it back without scratch. So yeah, so there was that. So yeah, I think, but then Coulson had that private request for Deke too, like for him to go out and collect stuff, for him to like meet people. Then I'm gonna yeah, I mean, visually speaking, I understood that scene, but then dialogue-wise, I think I'm gonna need to go back and actually listen to what he said again, and even listen to the elevator thing again. Like the elevator thing was the funniest thing. Yeah, like Deke just actually, yeah, I mean, he did a lot. So you can't blame him for trying to take some credit for what he did. But then it's like, you know, but then Fitz and Coulson just be like, you know, we were both talking about Deathlock, right? Like Deathlock coming in, rockets and flips for days. Like the choreography on Deathlock in this was just, wow, just he came back literally somersaulting onto the screen and everything. So that was great. But then I think Deke actually did. I think like he kind of like rounded up remaining Shield agents too. I don't know if the other people were Shield agents or just kind of civilians or like Shield connections or whatever. But then like a Quinjet full of people, and I think Davis is alive again. And I think he has like a scar on his cheek. I don't know if that's how he died. Cause I think either like I think she snapped his neck or something. Right? I'm pretty sure like she snapped his neck or like actually like punched him or kind of, you know, finger stabbed him somewhere or something. So I don't know. I can't remember exactly how she killed him. But I think apparently she didn't do it in like a truly lethal kind of way, because then of course, you know, Mike as Deathlock, he waltzed in, he rescued, so probably didn't rescue the other guy. So R.I.P. to him still. R.I.P. to him. He was valued and you know, well kind of valued and highly remembered kind of Shield agent, so RIP to him. But I think Mike actually managed to rescue Davis, and he rescued him, got him to medical, or just resurrected him somehow. So then, you know, like that, thanks to Mike, he saved Davis, so Davis came back and him. But then I think I think that then leaves me questioning like actually when that happened, because then if he was brought back while the team were off in the future, then that would mean that he probably would him and Piper not have met up? Would Davis and Piper not have actually met up and connected? Because then if that was the case, then maybe like those two together could have been the ones good. Like I think maybe, because then I think Piper probably gave in to Hale's kind of list of requests, and she probably gave in to Hale's deal all the more easily because she was alone, or because she thought she was alone. Maybe if she actually knew that Davis was out there, or maybe she actually managed to connect me up with Davis, then maybe those two could have been like an actual duo, actually still trying to keep the Shield name alive and doing that thing. So then I don't know. Maybe he was in recovery, because I think he was still kind of killed by Ada. So I think maybe then Davis was actually in recovery and he didn't really make it back until recently. So maybe while Piper was running around the world actually trying to do Shield stuff, then he was still recovering, and there was no way to actually get word out without risking anything. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, Davis is back, and then Mike was back, and they flew back in with the Quinjet, and they came with a whole new kind of team of people. So now we have like a potentially new kind of like somewhat rebuilt kind of Shield team and everything. So people to help run the lighthouse and everything. So never a shortage of people looking to fight for the right cause and looking to actually help save the world again. So let's hope nothing happens to these good people. Let's hope nothing actually happens again. No disasters, no catastrophes, no killing sprees that takes them all out. So let's actually keep them alive. Let's actually keep them alive and well. So yeah, that was good. Yeah, but yeah, I think he went. I think it was for the Fitzsimmons wedding. The Fitzsimmons wedding. it happened. The Fitzsimmons wedding happened. The Fitzsimmons wedding absolutely happened. And I think, yeah, I think. Like even they're hinting at it was not so subtle, like, you know, like talking about having like an idea, like for hope, like an institution and like a symbol and everything, and even like Fitz trying to sideline and be like, oh, it's not important, we can worry about it some other time, but then comes to me like, no, this is the most special thing you can do right now. This is exactly what people need. They need to believe in unity and hope and love and humanity again. And this is this Fitzsimmons wedding is the perfect way to bring everyone together to reunite for something joyful and something positive and something happy and something hopeful and everything. So yeah, I think from that point on, you naturally want Coulson to survive this and to make it out, or at least to actually make it out, because then they're definitely not killing him off straight away, even if they do kill him off. So, you know, you desperately want Coulson to actually make it out of the basement alive and everything, in order for him, because I think it feels only natural. Either him or Mac, or maybe Daisy. I feel like Daisy. I think maybe Daisy would have been a maid of honor. I think Daisy would have been Simmons' maid. I think she might have been. I think besides from Fitz and Simmons, there was really no official dress code for any of them. Like all of them, pretty much just kind of. It was very much like a last minute thing too. And it's like they had thanks to the actual the one good thing the Nightmare Crack in the Wall gave them was like an actual underground kind of lakeside outing kind of spot thing that was perfect for the wedding and everything. So besides from Fitz and Simmons getting their gorgeous garbs, getting their gorgeous clothes and the rings and everything, besides from that there was really no kind of other dress code besides from casual and formal and just kind of, you know, as long as you're there and you're happy for Fitzsimmons and you know them and you're there to celebrate them, it's all good. But then for them, they need, like, my boy Fitz needs the dapperest and most kind of wedding-y kind of suit and everything, and then, oh god, Simmons. Oh. God. Simmons, Gemma, they actually got a dress for her. They got the beautiful, like, white frilly wedding dress kind of thing. That was perfect. I mean, not like an actual veiled wedding dress, but still something perfect for her, something perfect and something still fitting, and yeah, especially on such short notice too. They just kind of got everything. So I think I'm pretty sure Deke actually managed to arrange all of this too. The people, he said he even got the rings. So I think the rings connects to like another huge reveal that happened that I'll get to in a fucking second. But I'm pretty sure he got like the clothes and like the jacket and the dress and everything and the rings and got everyone and even the beer like Zima and everything. So he got everything like that too. And then he tried to get Haig. Coulson tried to get him to get Haig, but then apparently Haig just wasn't like no one had heard of it, or like it just wasn't available. So then Deke being Deke, him having discovered alcohol for the first time in the last episode, he got the next best thing he knows, which is like a 6-pack of Zima. So yeah, I think, you know, props to Deke for, you know, helping to organize his freaking grandparents' wedding. So yeah, that happened. Yeah. But yeah, no, the wedding scene. Oh god, my god. The wedding scene is one of the reasons I actually live for this show. That's one of the reasons I actively live for this show. It was so perfect. It packed in everything it needed to, and I'm actively sweating. I actually sweat. I can feel myself sweating and actually kind of, you know, getting warmer because of this review. But the wedding was great. I think, yeah, of course, like Simmons being Simmons. I think Simmons actually believing in preparation and organization and being ready at all times for anything. She's the one who actually writes it down. But with Fitz just being the kind of improvisational romantic motherfucker that he is, he's just like, you know, he's like, all right, let me step up to the podium and just speak from the heart and speak freely and speak with like an emotionally charged kind of thing. Like, that is just the perfect thing. But like I think you know, both Elizabeth and Ian managed to embody their characters in the best ways in that one scene alone. They managed to embody them in the best way and execute that scene in the best way too. You know, just God, I can't think of a better wedding for that. I think, you know, I mean, again, like I think a wedding on less short notice would have been better. But then again, I mean, I think again the outing, the lake outing was actually under the base. And I think it was away from the prying eyes of General Haley's of General Hale. So, you know, like, they literally couldn't go anywhere in the actual outside of the real world because then they'd get caught. So then the next best thing was to actually utilize what few moments that the interdimensional kind of lake outing place actually had before it got crushed and before it closed up on them. So yeah, again, it was a beautiful place. It was an actual beautiful place with like a nice clear sky and like a lake and trees and the perfect place to hold a wedding like that. So just, you know, just again, amazing, just amazing. The best improvisation. So yeah, but just them two just doing the vows. The vows were beautiful. The vows were absolutely beautiful. Just the perfect kind of callback and the perfect kind of, vow to, the promise to stick together and to always stay together and to actually, face whatever the future has against them forever and everything. So, God, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Just amazing. Just wow. And yeah, I definitely need to actually rewatch those scenes with Coulson doing the whole request thing with Deke and actually find out what he actually asked of Deke exactly, besides from like, cause I mean, The Hague makes sense, but then everything else, I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly of what he asked him to do, and if that's actually what Deke did, or if he just went one step further and managed to find everything else. I mean, I'm gonna definitely gonna need to rewatch those scenes again, actually understand what went down between Coulson and Deke. So there's that. But yeah, I think Deke actually came through. He really came through for this wedding, and understandably so. Understandably so. So yeah, just beautifully done. Beautifully done. So then it's actually sprinkled in a little bit from like halfway onwards throughout the episode that General Hale has actually been reported to by the cops that Daisy showed up and Deke was there and all that kind of stuff and everything. And I think, yeah, I mean, I think for them the Daisy stuff makes sense because I think Daisy is highly and heavily wanted along with the rest of the team. So then that stuff makes sense. So then she's like, okay, there's clues here. I'm gonna investigate them. But then the thing that seems to trifle her and the cops and everyone else is like this Deke Shaw dude. There's literally nothing on him. And I think the common theory is, oh, maybe he's an LMD, because then that was the thing that Piper explained. So maybe he's like an LMD with no identity. Maybe he's like a new one that they created or something. So then that's in the question. But I think then, I mean, no, because I think May drank the Hague, right? Because I was thinking, like, if he was an MD, would the alcohol not like short circuit him? Because then the internal techniques of the internal kind of the internal tech of the actual LMDs, like, they can, I think. I don't know. I can't remember if they actually acknowledged it back in season 4. But I think can they like eat and drink without it like damaging them or anything? Because I mean, the May one was actively designed to emulate May perfectly. So then and she drank the Hague with Coulson. So then that would and she drank alcohol like not just simply pure water. But I think she actively drank alcohol with Coulson. So then that would imply that she can drink in and nothing can happen. And the LMDs are designed to then. Because then the LMD's base thing was to actually be the kind of shield for shield, to actually be like the kind of the actual shield to protect and shield for the actual shield leaders. So then because of that, you wouldn't expect them to. I think you wouldn't too heavily expect them to actually emulate human behavior to that extent, like to the point where they need to eat and then like actually go to the toilet and things. I don't know, but I think. That's a tangent of its own. But yeah, I think the common theory then was that, Deke might be an LMD, so they need to investigate who he is and everything. But then the more they investigated, the more they found out. No prints, no medical record, no public record, no physical history of any kind. Like, for all they know, this guy quite literally did just kind of pop up out of thin air one day, and then he got himself arrested that very same day. So. Yeah, that's the trouble when you actually travel decades before you're actually even born, and then you end up literally, pre-existing in a time that you're not supposed to be in. So yeah, but yeah, I think that whole kind of I like that investigation was sprinkled in, because otherwise I think the reveal would have felt like so much more kind of out of. The reveal would have felt that much more kind of like out of nowhere and all the more kind of surprising. I mean, would have been a great surprise, because I think the surprise worked either way, but then it would have actually kind of been so much more like, out of nowhere, General Hale comes in, it's been revealed that she's investigating Daisy and now Deke too, but then this happens and that happens, but then the fact that they actually show them actively investigating them, and especially with Deke having been outside too, they actively show it too, they actually sprinkle it in, works so much better for the reveal. And oh my god, the reveal. Oh god, I think to think I didn't really even properly register that line. I really did not think I was supposed to think too much of that line when he mentioned he mentioned, I think the rings were cool. I think he said he got the rings from he got the rings from a pawn shop. I think he mentioned he got what? I think he didn't say both rings, right? I think, let me actually check. I think did he say both rings or just the one ring? Just the one ring to rule them all. I'm sorry, I had to do that. Yeah, so small enough for his little boy fingers. So yeah, Fitz has small hands or small fingers at least. So That's the thing. Or maybe like really like narrow, like narrow hands, maybe like for like narrow stuff. So maybe like small ring for small fingers. So ones that wouldn't fall off them. Ones that wouldn't fall off essentially. So he had to find one that was actually small enough first. But then for Simmons' one, that's where the history and the sentimentality came in for that one. That one, he said he found one that looks exactly like one that his mother used to wear, and he thinks it was his grandmother's. Well, one that his mother used to wear, and he thinks it was his grandmother. So I mean, then that is the cheekiest. That is the cheekiest way I can imagine them actually trying to slide in that little kind of. Wait, what? Wait, what, grandmother? Like, oh, is there some kind of connection there? I don't know. Let's just enjoy the moment while it lasts. And then, literally, rolling right in following that is the scene of the cop coming in with the iPad, actually showing off what his actual kind of historical genetic profile shows off. And it's like, I think, it's not his parents, because we know his dad was Owen. We never met his parents, and I think we never found out who his mother was. So I think it could be either way. It could be either way. But I think then we find out like he has two matches for his genetic profile, and that is both Leopold Fitz and Gemma Ann Simmons. Fitzsimmons are the fucking grandparents of Deke Shaw. I'm just gonna, I mean, you guys must like definitely already knew this. I'm just gonna let it re-sink in for all of you because it's currently still dawning on me like an actual kind of ray of blinding sunlight and everything. That is just wow. Okay, that's a really interesting way to actually tie in some kind of family history to this and actually connect. And what a hell of a way to connect Deke into the Shield kind of family name and everything, and into the Shield kind of chronology and everything. So. Deke Shaw is the grandchild, or the grandson of Fitzsimmons. So, yeah. So he helped organize his own grandparents' wedding. That is just, this just provides so many answers this provides a lot of different answers by itself. But it's also the fact that it's, on the one hand, if you think about it from a Fitzsimmons point of view, it's like, so Fitzsimmons get married, that means that they then have a kid or kids, and then one of those kids goes off to either goes off to marry Owen Shaw or goes off to actually get married to Mama Shaw, and then like to get married to, so then they have a kid or kids, and then one of those kids either is Owen Shaw or is Mama Shaw, and then they give birth to they then actually have Deke Shaw as their son. So he is the grandchild of Fitzsimmons. So, this is nothing if not the most blissful and most beautiful confirmation that the Fitzsimmons family tree lives on. The Fitzsimmons family tree lives on, it expands, it continues, and it blossoms into something amazing and everything. And no wonder Deke seemed so, at the beginning, like he's got the amazing genetics of his grandparents. He's got the combined genetics of his grandparents passed down to his parents and then split off among them and everything. So, the Fitzsimmons family tree just must be gorgeous. It must be gorgeous. So, So, that is just wow. That is something I'm going to be thinking about for quite a while now. That is something I'm going to be thinking about for the next few days, at least for the next week, at least. Just the fact that wow, they have a grandchild, and that grandchild is now also with them. That grandchild is also like now their age. It's like the most like it's like pulling like a reverse Back to the Future in the most kind of twisty way. It's like Back to the Future, but like actually more lengthy and more kind of thought-provoking and more just kind of wow. It's like Back to the Future, but with more wow. It's with more wow. So, goddamn. So he's their age. He's with them. He's he's their age. He's close to their age, which also means that he's pretty young too. So that he can actively live out kind of possible what could be the rest of his life. Because I think. There's been no discussion yet as of whether he's returning home or not, but they have no monolith now. The monoliths have been blown up, so there's literally no way to return him home. So he's now, he's no longer stuck. He's with his family. He's with his family. Oh, that just dawned on me. That realization just dawned on me. Deke Shaw is now officially with his family. He's with his grandparents and their friends. He's with his grandparents and their family. Like, Shield is now officially his extended family, with Fitzsimmons being his active biological family. Fitzsimmons is his biological family. We have a Fitzsimmons family. We have the mother, the father, and the holy grandson. You know, we have that. We have the mother, the father, and the holy grandson. We have that trinity. We have the Fitzsimmons family. We have a biological Fitzsimmons family, and then maybe one day they're gonna have a kid or kids. You know, or adoption, whatever the fuck happens. I mean, if it's biological, I mean, I think if it's a biological thing, you know, like Fitzsimmons were detected through his actual kind of genetic kind of history and his genetic profiles, and that means that they actually do kind of have a kid together, and then that kid goes on to marry someone else when, you know, when the time comes, and then they both birth, you know, Deke, and then happens Fitzsimmons family. God, I'm actively gushing. It's like, you know, that kind of, that's the, like, I'm having the most slow burn of realizations right now. I think this episode has had me having the most slow burn of realizations in this one episode, in this one video alone. Just like, you know, with stuff happening with Coulson, it's just like, oh yeah, and then tears. But now with this one, it's just like, oh yeah, family. So yeah, this is I don't even know. God, like, I think the thing is, with this, you know, with this reaction also kind of being recorded somewhat in advance too, I'm gonna, you know, like, I will definitely have actually watched this episode before I actually saw anyone actually extensively preparing me or warning me for this one. So yeah, just, you know, just me actually actively trying to get ahead of stuff and actually trying to get on top of different shows and different videos I need to film. You know, this actively joined the list. So yeah, this is the price. I actively, you know, get into something before anyone can warn me or even actually advise me on how to prepare. So yeah, but then of course I think that would then also kind of somewhat be teetering on the kind of precipice of setting up expectations. But I think with this one, there's no way you can set up any false expectations for this. With this one, this is a full-blown mindfuck from start to finish, and it's just the best thing ever. This episode is just one of the best things ever that this show has provided. So, you know, I'm nothing but grateful. I think that there is no way anyone could have told me to prepare for this, and then I actually would have ended up disappointed. There's no way that anyone could have actually falsely set up expectations for me for this episode. So, yeah, just wow, wow. Yeah, but I think that actively sets up a whole lot more interesting kind of paths for this show to travel down, with Deke being, I mean, that would be if this was the final season, that would be a hell of a thing to reveal in the final season. Like, oh, surprise, you're one of your favourite OTPs in this show, and then probably in all of fandom, have their grandchild, have their, let's introduce you to their grandchild, like, but in like a few kind of, so actually get to know him first and then find out, oh, he's actually more important or more significant than you actually realise. So then that would be, if this was the final season, that would be a hell of a thing to reveal. You know, so I mean, granted, this episode still being 22 episodes long, you know, and this is only episode 12. I think we still have like 10 more episodes to go to actually still get to know him, and then even actually potentially having. Well, I mean, I really don't think you could really go forward without the rest of the team finding out, because then that would just be the most kind of awkward and the most kind of weirdest thing ever. So then eventually the team finds out, and then Fitzsimmons finds out, oh, we were actually commanding this team with our grandson. So yeah, that is just a hell of a thing to reveal. If this was the final season, that would be one hell of a thing to reveal too. So probably would have been like an amazing thing too. But then I think knowing how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does things, I feel like it would also kind of result in a lot more people wanting a season 6. Like if only, or maybe even actually wanting a spin-off with the Fitzsimmons family. I think maybe if this was going to be the final season, then, you know, it might have actually kind of prompted people to actually kind of start some kind of trend or start some kind of hashtag for like a Fitzsimmons family spin-off or something. So actually just like having the adventures of, like, maybe even have a Daisy along for the ride too. Maybe actually have Daisy along for the ride, but, you know, but like an actual Fitzsimmons kind of family spin-off of actually showing them getting up to their own shit or something. So I don't even know, but it's just, yeah, just wow, just God, I think it's just such a cool thing to think about. Deke Shaw is not only their grandson, but he's now with them. He's actively now with them, and he actively, he unknowingly, which makes it even better, he unknowingly, like, helps to organise and perfect and actually do the organising for his own grandparents' wedding on such short notice too, and he actively does this and everything. He recognizes Gemma's ring because she's his grandmother. It's like, you know, it belonged to his grandmother, so I think, yeah, his grandmother passed it on to his mother, and then wait, no, hold on. Wait, so if it's his grandmother's and then the ring was passed down to his mother, that would mean the mother is their child. I think that, yeah. Then that would mean they have a daughter there. That would mean then they have a daughter. Because then otherwise then Owen isn't mentioned to have any connection to Fitzsimmons. Like Owen is just Owen, but then. Also, funny enough, like that. Also funny enough that the daughter is the only one we actively don't yet have a name for. Like we only know him. We only know her as Deke's mother. But then Owen, we know he's the father. We know it's Owen Shaw and everything. But yeah, I think the mother is the only one we don't have a name for. But then also now to add to that too, now like he recognizes the ring as his grandmother's because it's the ring that his mother had and it was passed down from Gemma to her. So then they have a daughter. They have a baby girl. They have a daughter. They have. Oh. God, I love this show. I love this show so much. I love it. 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 God, yes. If Fitzsimmons has a baby, has a daughter, they have a daughter, and then that daughter goes off to marry an Owen Shaw, and then they both get together and have a Deke Shaw. Yeah. So. Damn, what would Fitzsimmons name their baby daughter? Maybe Sky. I don't know if they do Sky. I don't know if they. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Sky. Maybe like Sky Fitzsimmons. I think. Would she even have Fitzsimmons as her last name before she gets married? Or I think I don't know. But I don't know. But I think what would they name their daughter? I don't know. Like Sky. I think Sky. I think maybe. I think. Would Daisy be the godmother? Would Daisy be the godmother? Like I mean, what I don't know. I mean, would Daisy want to be a godmother, or would she kind of be kind of more happy being like the cool, comfortable kind of aunt or something? I don't know. Because then even then it's like, like because then Philinda would make amazing grandparents for her. Philinda would make amazing grandparents for her, and then Daisy probably would be like the cool aunt or like the cool. I mean, she could be the cool godmother. She could be the or no, I don't know, cool aunt, or maybe I don't know, Elena and Mac, Yo-Yo and Mac would make for great aunts and uncles. They would make for amazing aunts and uncles, and then Daisy would probably be the godmother, and then I don't know why I'm just now stuck thinking about what the actual kind of current Shield family tree thing would look like, and then Fitzsimmons having a daughter. And then Deke comes in. Oh God, this is so nice to think about. It's so nice and so sweet and so wholesome to think about. It's just so beautiful. Just wow. God. I love this show and everything it gives us, the good and the bad and the fucking painfully ugly. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful show, and more people should watch it. So it's a beautiful show, and so many more people would watch it. And I'm so glad I get to do these reactions, and I'm so glad I get to share all of this with you lovely people. So thank you for being here and for helping me get through the pain and also the joy too. So it's good to share everything, or as much as possible. So. Yeah, thank you for being here and for understanding exactly, exactly how bad this can get and how much this means and everything. So, yeah, yeah. So yeah, to my understanding, that is pretty much everything. I've kind of like a decent page's worth of notes and everything. I think I got through everything. But I think the more this goes on, the harder it is to actually take a minute and to write stuff down, but still kind of pay attention and actually kind of take in what's happening and still take notes down and everything. Because then sometimes I write like half a note and then have to finish it off later when things are calmer. So a lot goes on in this show and stuff. But that's good because then it still gives you some great stuff to actually look forward to and to react to and everything. So. But yeah, as of right now, those are all my thoughts. As of right now, those are all my initial thoughts for this episode. This was just wow, just a mind woggly just of an episode. So yeah, definitely gonna want to rewatch both in and out of editing. So that's definitely gonna be happening. But most of all, let me know what you thought. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear what you thought. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this episode and how you felt about this and how you felt about it when it first aired and what your thoughts were on the reveals and the twists and turns and everything that went down in this episode and how it made you feel and what you thought. And also like any kind of other kind of like spoiler free or any kind of other kind of insights from those of you who were there back in the day when season 5 was airing, if the stories were true about delayed kind of like about delayed renewal information, like if season 5 was rumored to be the last one, or if like how you found out about about there being future seasons, or what the thing was there, like any kind of spoiler free or any kind of like other kind of insights. I'm really curious to know what the atmosphere and what the kind of drama was like back then, to actually find out whether or not the show was actually continuing and what the stuff was like back then. So let me know and everything. And also again, just let me know how you felt about this episode and how you rank it and how you felt and all your beautiful thoughts you have in concerns with this story and everything. But yeah, for now, those are all my thoughts. So thank you, as always, so much for being here and for listening to them. If you've made it this far, as per usual, then hats off to you. You're a real one. You are one of the mightiest. So yeah, that is it. That is all my thoughts and my reactions for season 5, episode number 12 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So as always, thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then absolutely feel free to leave a like. It really helps out, and to comment what your thoughts are. Like I said, and actually let me know how you felt about this and what the kind of times were like back then, and what the tension and drama was like, and any thoughts you have on the story and how you kind of thought it would continue, and any kind of thoughts you have and theories that you can now share. As always, keeping it spoiler free and everything, so that's important. Full length reaction for those interested will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. This episode is a really tight one, so the full length toolkit will still have everything else you want to see. That is pretty much it. So as always, until the next time, bye bye for now.